boy Jean Jr. and right now you tuned into World Combat Sports.
Fall in once again. You're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good? It's Sunday. Hopefully everyone is doing outstanding. Blessings and peace and love to everyone. I don't know if you're in church. I don't know if you're in a city that church is open back up, the congregation that you can get your fellowship on, but salute to everyone. You know what I'm saying? Blessings to all. This is Catchway episode 751, Boxing and MMA Fight Recap. You know it went down, boxing and MMA. So WCS definitely have to step back on him bright and early and just talk to the people. Michael, the first in the building, salute, bro. You know, how you feel, man? Everybody else is stepping in. You know, be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you really support the channel. You know what I'm saying? And if you choose to donate, feel free to do so. The Cash App is up there. Let's get right down to it. You're looking at my thumbnail, man. On the left-hand side, the fight of the night, Stephen Fulton is the new WBO junior featherweight champion. He defeated Angelo Leo in a war. I think I would say it's a war on many levels because I don't know if you read the AKA description or the alias of Stephen Fulton. It's called Cool Boy Steph. He goes by Cool Boy Steph. Stephen Fulton was in a head-to-head, chest-to-chest, inside dirty boxing, phone booth, close quarters battle. I swear to you, he came out without a scratch. That shit was entertaining. It was very educational boxing. For those individuals who don't see that too often, you don't see what you seen yesterday with the way Stephen Fulton was able to do it. You don't see that a lot. Nobody's going to tell me that you do. When somebody commits to fighting chest to chest, head to head, and it's a lot of things that has to happen. It was clinching periodically, but it was briefly to the point where, you know, either someone stepped out and dug to the body, went up top with a hook, a shot, an uppercut. They was constantly moving. But in my opinion, Stephen Fulton did that shit better. He did it better. I mean, the inside game, it takes a different type of education in the boxing. Seriously. You have to basically take a different step to your learning curve to be able to fight on the inside like that. That shit was a beautiful masterclass, man. Shout out to Stephen Fulton and congratulations to the new WBO champ. I'm gonna watch that fight again once I get off of here, because you barely see it. Like, one of the best, in my opinion, to fight on the inside. And, you know, I admire, you know, how crafty he was, man. That was James Lights Out Tony. You know, his boxing on the inside was amazing. But with the lighter weight classes, like the junior featherweight, like we seen last night, man, Stephen Fulton was basically showing you all different types of angles, man. He was showing you all different types of dance moves, making adjustment on there. If he wanted the distance and step back and then land a 1-2 and then get right back in, cozy and comfortable on the inside. That shit was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie to you. You rarely see that shit in boxing, man. Michael Lewis say, "Peace, Scott. Yeah, I'm here early for the fuckery." I'm collecting money and talking shit. So what you looking at, man? Who you win money off of? Conor, Dustin fight, or Stephen Fulton, Angelo? Which one you win money off of? Andre in the building. What's good? Andre say Fulton really impressed me. Man, it impressed both of us. I seen him fight before though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he gave my boy Joshua Grid Jr. his first loss. Who Joshua I can say can fight on the inside too, but I would say not to the extent of Stephen Fulton. What I seen from Stephen Fulton was dedication to being the best at what he does. I'm talking about for you to be able to fight on the inside and have a mastery like that and come out unscathed. This dude fought for 12 rounds damn near on the inside with a fighter that was game in Angelo Leo. He was game. He was bringing it. He was bringing the smoke. He was trying to bring the smoke. But Steph was goddamn putting that flame out every time he came on the inside. And you can see as the fight went along, Angelo started to wear the fight just a little bit more and more. That proves to us, the viewing fans, that Stephen Fulton was executing some shots on the inside that may not have looked that serious to us. You know, from the outside looking in, it may not have looked that serious, but what he was doing was putting that masterpiece together. He was in there painting that Picasso, y'all. He was on the inside boxing that Picasso. The little slick shit they was doing, it was just too much, man. To look at how you need to think, how your boxing IQ need to be to fight on the inside like that. That shit was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. That fight right there, Leo and Fulton, was entertaining as hell, man. The fight with Aline and Basilio was entertaining, but not so much the Fulton and Leo. Why? Because both of them had pretty decent boxing technique. You know what I'm saying? Equally. All right. But the one thing that separated Basilio, he was a little bit flat-footed, lack of head movement, the slower fighter. And, you know, you had a different type of style from Aline, who was just slick in his own way. Dude had, you know, foot movement. He had his own little rhythm. Man, you know how you go to some cities and they have their own little special dance they do? Man, his in and out feints, man. He'll give you that right. He'll give you that left feint and try to get a reaction. And, you know, and then he'll come in with a shot. Every time he move his feet with a feint when he's dancing, he's always ready to throw a punch. Back to Stephen Fulton, man. I have to salute the brother. Stephen Fulton was in there educating the shit out of what I was looking at, educating the shit out of me. I was like, damn, you know, this is a very good fight with the lighter weight class that moves fast. You know, the lighter weight class, junior featherweight, they're a lot more swift than the heavier weight classes. And plus, for 12 solid rounds, we saw nothing but action. We saw nothing but action. So Stephen Fulton said he wanted to unify. He wanted to be undisputed. So that means he will have to face unified champion in the future, potentially, Mirajan Akhmanayev. He holds the WBA and the IBF belt. I think his name, Akhmanayev. I may be pronouncing that a little wrong or whatever, but you get my point. That's gonna be crazy. And I think he's from Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken. But when it comes down to it, man, I have to salute and take my hat off to them. Stephen Fulton, man, cool boy Steph. That dude is what his alias say he is. That dude came in there for 12 rounds and walked out. He didn't have an eye swole. He didn't have a busted lip. He didn't have a cut on him. He didn't have shit. You know what I'm saying? But a belt. You know what I'm saying? I salute performances like that. Real talk. He painted that Picasso on the inside and then gave you the finished product. Clean as a whistle. Michael Lewis, I called it that McNugget would sleep early. Yeah, man. You did. I didn't, I didn't call that shit, because I thought that Conor McGregor with his power, but behind the scenes, like sometimes behind the scenes, you don't know what's going on. He goddamn Dustin Poirier smashed Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? But salute to the ones who picked up a bill or two, off that bet with Conor McGregor. But I'm not sure what y'all grading Rolly Romero's performance against Avery Sparrow, but I would say both of them went in there to fight. Avery Sparrow being a last minute replacement, he went in there and fought. He didn't lay down. He was hurt, and he still went back in there. I take my hat off to that cat, man. In real life, I'll salute him because he's a tough motherfucker, man. Like, seriously, he might have been his corner may have called a stoppage because he hurt his knee, but it wasn't no fuckboy anything going on in there. They were fighting. With Rolly Romero, he did box more this time. He used more spacing in between him and his opponent. He wasn't, just going in reckless and trying to land power shots. A plus for Rolly is that he let his hands go when he was in range, when he was on the front step of Avery Sparrow. He let his hands go, and he not only let his hands go, but he was pretty accurate. He was pretty accurate with his shots. He was digging to the body. He shoot an uppercut every now and then. If he go on the outside, like he shoot that left hook. If Avery had his glove up, he will immediately send that straight left down the middle and pop him in the head with it. Throw that jab. Put that jab on him. Much more disciplined performance for Rolly Romero, opposite of what we've seen from Jackson Maria's last outing. Definitely. But I'm not going to take too much time on it. Khabib Nurmagomedov was on deck yesterday. Of course, I was up here thinking, and I was just projecting a hypothetical that if Conor McGregor was to defeat Dustin Poirier in dominating fashion, it may potentially set up a fight between Khabib Nurmagomedov. And I told you all, Khabib, he still feel some type of way about Conor. It's no forgiving that shit. It's no forgiving how much an asshole Conor was before he started having his kids, getting in trouble. All the shit he was going on, drinking whiskey, all that shit. But anyway, this is what Khabib had to say. This is what happened when you change your team. Leave the sparring partners who made you a champion and sparring with little kids far away from reality. Khabib was just letting him know, man, I still have no love for you. I have no love for you. And now he's definitely not getting a shot at Khabib ever again. I don't care if 3 or 4 years go by, Khabib is not going to be in the sport. Khabib is not going to be in the sport. And once again, how messed up this win is for Dustin is, yes, indeed, he's 1-1. He revenged his first loss to Conor McGregor, right? But then, do we really want to see him back in a title shot with Khabib? Because he was subbed out in 3 rounds. Stylistically, him and Conor McGregor matched up beautifully. But we don't want to see him go in there against a Sambo motherfucking bear. A Sambo Russian bear. And give him the business again on the ground. Now, for a lot of people, including myself, when I seen Dustin Poirier shoot in for that double leg in the middle, look, in the middle, this how fucked up Conor is, and he's been fucking off in training. Dustin Poirier did the exact same thing what Khabib did, but with less velocity, and he was able to get a double leg in the middle. Easy. When he was able to get that takedown in the middle, I said, you know what, Conor McGregor, he fucked, because I would give him against Khabib the Nurmagomedov a little bit more credit because he was aware of the takedown coming. But Dustin Poirier switched it up on him early while it was dry, while he was still, energized. He went in, he changed levels and went in for that double, sat him down. And then, look, kudos to Conor for making it back up with minimal punishment. But when he started landing those calf kicks, y'all, if you ever been kicked in a calf barely have any type of fat around it. The calf muscles actually, one of those muscles that it's neglected until you actually train it. People don't know how important it is until you injure it. You know what I'm saying? Until you injure a calf. And Dustin Poirier was landing those low calf kicks on Conor. It even had him limping after the fight. So I'm saying, okay, Conor should be able to take these kicks from Poirier. So he wanted to do all that spinning heel kick and try to be all fancy. Dustin Poirier stuck to the basics, finished him off with punches, and basically set him up for a future big fight. Now, unfortunately for Dustin Poirier, it's too quick for Dana White to say, you know what, I'm gonna put you back in the cage with Khabib Nurmagomedov when he just lost in the third round submission. He said McNugget. Mike said, had 3 different people bet me, collected on 2 already. Man, he better get them cats on deck, dog, before they abort mission, dog, and relocate to a different city. Shit, Just Blaze was good. Great night for combat sports yesterday. Absolutely, man. Hell yeah. It was a sleeper. You know what I'm saying? It was a sleeper. Because you had Cool Boy Steph in there with Leo, and you're like, okay, let me see how this. A lot of people was kind of sleeping on Fulton. A lot of people sleeping on this dude, but he is talented. And he's a WBO champion, junior featherweight champion. So yes, if he's telling you he wants to unify, let's go. You have Luis Neri there too. Luis Neri, and then you have the unified champion, who I just mentioned early, Markov, I think his name, let me look him up again. Mujan Markov Daev. It's not Delayev. It's somewhat like Daev. He's the unified champion, the WBA and the IBF. So we'll see if that fight happens next. No Khabib rematch. No Mayweather rematch. No Pacquiao fight. No Jake Paul fight. Nothing but means for that boy. Damn, you unloaded the clip on him. No. That clip was firing off nose, fully automatic. And you're right, man. No Mayweather. No Khabib. Because Mayweather is only going to get you when you have something of value. And that value has to be the momentum that you have in order to step in with Mayweather. You have to have a belt. You have to have people talking about you, buzzing. You have to have all that chorus. People have to be damn singing along with it. And Mayweather say, okay, all right. Smart investment. Okay, Leonard, to get on the phone. Let's see what this guy Conor's doing. That ain't happening right now. Floyd Mayweather, he saw him get taken down. He's like, shit, that boy in trouble. My Lamborghini, is it clean yet? Because I gotta go. Conor in trouble. Pacquiao fight. It's good he didn't take that fight. But it would have been a plus for Pacquiao if he was to knock out Conor McGregor in a boxing match. It would have been good for Pacquiao. He would have got paid well. Plus, he would have did something Floyd wasn't able to do. So you know how that plays out. Like people were like, oh shit, Pacquiao did this to Conor McGregor. But then it could have potentially built up Pacquiao's Wall Street a little bit. for his boxing match. I don't know when he would. I don't know when he could have inserted a MMA match. I mean, a fight with a mixed martial artist into his boxing schedule, because there's no way he can defend his WBA title against someone like Dustin or Conor McGregor. So it would have had to be at the right time, and then able to him. I mean, Pacquiao would have been able to schedule another boxing match to defend his title. That would have been pushing it for the 42-year-old legend, 8th division champion Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? The Filipino sensation. Jake Paul, damn, what if he would have went in there with Jake Paul, who outweighs Conor, but he went in there with Jake Paul. Now, he could have made some pretty good money off that if he was in there with Jake Paul, but guess what? Jake Paul might have knocked him out the way he looked last night. Seriously, what if Jake Paul knocks out Conor McGregor? Man, why am I even talking about Jake Paul? Anyway, back to the situation at hand. This is the let me go over here to the YouTube. I put the results in the details for all the listeners that's tuned in. I put the results of the UFC fight card in the details. So I have to, bring you on deck and talk about the other situation that popped off yesterday. Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler came in the building. His first fight in the UFC. His first fight in the UFC. I have the ESPN snippet from the Stephen Fulton fight, him winning the title, that I will read off, and also I have the UFC results at the time of the stoppage and everything. Michael Chandler defeated Dan Hooker, man, and it was a patient one. And what I've seen with Michael Chandler is what I've seen before in Bellator. He was patient. Trying to, feel Dan Hooker out, trying to see where he's going. Dan Hooker was sweeping the outside, moving left to right, using his lateral as much as he possibly can. And finally, when Michael Chandler, decided to execute a right hand, he was able to drop Dan Hooker fairly easy in round one. He dropped Dan Hooker fairly easy. And when Michael Chandler gets you hurt, you can almost cancel that. Unless you're an elite fighter and you can recover quickly, he's going to dog you. And that's what happened to damn Dan Hooker. He simply was overwhelmed by Michael Chandler. Then Michael, look, he ran up on the top of the cage so quick, no one could stop him. Like usually they stop fighters from doing that so they won't get injured, anything else. He ran up to the top of the cage and did a backflip. I'm like, God damn. The only person I seen do it quicker was Charles Felony Bennett. Old school crazy horse, the brother. That's the only one I seen him perform that quicker. And he did it off a ring, a boxing ring. He didn't do it off a cage. He did that shit off a boxing ring in the corner. He ran into the corner and flipped off the back with no problem. But look down there, and there you have it right there. You have all the results. ESPN, Stephen Fulton had to wait, in quote, Stephen Fulton had to wait several months to have a crack at the WBO junior featherweight belt. When he finally got his opportunity on Saturday, Fulton didn't squander it. The Philadelphia native knocked off Angelo Leo via unanimous decision to win the title. In a bout that wasn't short on action, Fulton used a high work rate to win 118-110, 119-111 twice against the defending champion in Connecticut. Several aspects of Fulton's performance countered what many expected going to the fight. As it turns out, the person who was shocked was the one who finished the night holding the belt. Wasn't shocked, so to speak. Fulton had this to say: "I knew what I came to do," Fulton said in his post-fight news conference. "I came to make a statement and fight this guy. I didn't come to just box. I came to fight him, and that's what I did." Damn, that shit he did, man. Absolutely, he did. He said he came to fight him, not just box. I got you. Real talk. I got you. That's real talk. So what's next? Maybe we'll see some of these other fights happen in boxing. You know what I mean? Let's see who he fight next. Are they gonna give him the champ or give him, a number one contender or something like that? We'll see. What's next for Conor McGregor? I really don't care. He made so many millions with Floyd Mayweather, and I truly believe living that lifestyle it goes back to it's probably hard for him, getting up the train when you're sleeping on silk sheets. You know what I'm saying? He made a whole hell of a lot of money off the Floyd Mayweather fight. Then he was sponsored by Proper 12, and he have another sponsorship. Conor McGregor has millions of dollars, man. And I believe he's drinking a little bit more than he was. He even looked like he's aged a little bit. So being his reflexes was off, he seemed a bit slow. He did connect on Dustin Poirier, a couple of times in that round, but nothing detrimental to the point where I thought Dustin was in trouble. Dustin was pretty much talking to Conor during the fight. He was relaxed in there, and the results spoke for themselves, So right now, I really don't know what's next for Dustin unless they're going to put him in there with Charles Oliveira. I would like to see that fight. Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira. Because that's the next talk of the town. Because Justin Gaethje, he's just coming off a submission loss, so he's not going to be back anytime soon like that. He's not in a rush. Tony Ferguson, we've seen what happened with him with Justin Gaethje. And then he just recently lost on a turnaround. I mean, the only reasonable fight would be Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira. That's the only fight we want to see. So moving on in the UFC, there's a lot of big fights for most of the divisions that's out there, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Most of the divisions is out there because right now, Davison Figueiredo is 125-pound champ, and he's gonna have everybody knocking at his door. Then 135, Peter Yan, he's about to face Aljamain Funk Master Sterling. Y'all keep that name, Peter Yan and Sterling, for that 135-pound bout. That shit gonna be fire. 145, man, Alexander Volkanovski. I was hoping he stepped back in there with Max Holloway, but that's not the case. He's gonna have another opponent, and we'll see how it plays out, man. He's still trying to establish a name for himself. 140, that's 145. And the lightweight we just seen, and the 170-pound, he's about to step in there with Gilbert Burns, man. You know what I'm saying? The Ringo. He's about to step in there with Gilbert the Ringo Burns. Multi-time ADC. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. He is legitimate. He has faced the loss inside of the UFC, but he's worked his way back up, and now he will be stepping in there for the championship of basically being delayed from COVID testing. You know what I'm saying? Testing positive for COVID. He'll step in there with Kamaru Usman, so we'll see how that plays out. And then in the middleweight division, like I said, I believe Dana is trying to set up that fight for Israel Adesanya to step in there with the man himself, light heavyweight champion, Juan Blachowicz. And I just received news not too long ago that the heavyweight division, UFC 260, we will indeed have what I just mentioned a couple of days ago that it may happen. It's official. Stipe Miocic will fight a rematch against the man himself that they say had more punching power than Mike Tyson, Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou had the opportunity to change his life. Seriously. And this is how much he has changed his life. Because I always want to throw comparisons out there, y'all. This is how much Francis Ngannou has to change his life. If he's able to beat Stipe Miocic, they're going to want to see Francis Ngannou and John Jones. First of all, two black fighters, physically, freakishly strong and gifted for pugilism in their own way. John Jones more so than Francis Ngannou, but still, at this point in the heaviest division in the UFC, Francis Ngannou, John Jones, oh my God, that is not just a throwaway fight like people think. Francis Ngannou, I'm pretty sure, has improved since his first fight with Stipe Miocic. I'm pretty sure he's going to go in there with a different game plan. He does have power. I'm pretty sure he should have by now worked on his ground game, his takedown defense. He's a strong ass dude, man. Francis Ngannou is a strong guy. But Stipe Miocic, he's smart. His cage IQ, his fighting IQ, he's smart. He's learned from his mistakes. But I'm just saying, if Francis Ngannou defeat Stipe Miocic, then what? We have another huge PPV with these two monsters, John Bones Jones, going in there against Francis Ngannou. Hell yeah, people are going to stop through. You can believe it. People are going to stop through because that's what it does when two big fighters like that, black fighters, of course, they match off against each other, and they're freakishly gifted to go in the art of combat, to go compete in the art of combat. Man, a lot of people are going to pay for this fight. So that's UFC 260, man. That's happening down the way. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I want to touch on one other fight that I seen over here. What is it? What was that other fight? I was surprised to see Joanne Calderwood defeat Jessica Ai. Jessica Ai was just outworked by Calderwood. So Calderwood may indeed up the line get another title shot at Valentina Shevchenko, the women's flyweight champion. You know what I'm saying? The flyweight world champion. She might get another crack at it. You never know. I want everybody to tune in to 1:00 p.m. today. 1:00 p.m. I have a special guest interview that's popping off at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1300 military time. I want you to support, the boxer. Show your support, pull up. You know what I mean? I will be putting up a post on it, a thumbnail about this, and make it happen. An interview popping off today at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, that's Eastern Standard Time. Shouty. You know what I'm saying? What's next for boxing? What is next? What is next for boxing? I'm looking forward to seeing Deontay Wilder get back in the square. Suppose it's a leaked audio out. Okay, it's a leaked audio out of Frank Warren and Tyson Fury basically discussing in other terms of being a part of the Duck Masters Coalition. They really didn't want to fight Deontay Wilder without a crowd. It's not the fact that Deontay Wilder is procrastinating or prolonging this shit. It's a leaked audio out there with Tyson Fury and Frank Warren, and they're basically talking about, with no crowd, they didn't want to have the fight. This is a massive fight. It did big numbers in the rematch, so they're basically declining to fight Deontay Wilder in a sense, because it's going to be without a full live gate. So they're the ones that's responsible for the fight not happening. Tyson Fury and Frank Warren. If you go check out Blue Blood channel, that's where I heard it from. And I always cite the channels. I don't have no problem citing another channel, because I surf this shit all the time, even on mainstream media. But I heard him talking about it, and then I did my own research on some other shit. But right now, the task at hand is, let's get this fight. Let's make this fight happen and benefit Deontay Wilder, get him back in the ring. Let's make that shit happen. Let's make the fight happen for Deontay Wilder so he can get back in the ring. Either Tyson Fury, you're going to fight, or you're going to move the fuck on and get out of our way. Go over there, play around in the sand. No one's going to respect that fight. No one's going to respect that fight with Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not fighting for the WBC title. No one's going to respect that. So we just want in 2021 to potentially see. We know Deontay Wilder, he has quick turnaround. You know what I'm saying? He's proved it. He can turn around quick in a fight camp. But for anyone like last year who was saying who he needs in his camp, you know what I'm saying? He needs this person, that person. I'm pretty sure he's had ample amount of time to insert whoever he wanted in his camp, improve and polish up any type of deficiency that him and his camp believe he had, and come back and do what he does. That's all we want. We want to see the fight. I do not want to talk about a big fight potential like we used to talk about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. The good thing about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they've been in the ring twice already. They've been in the ring. So in order for us to get back to a trilogy, Tyson Fury needs to understand he needs to come back and get this retribution that's due him. He has this retribution that is due. He has to come back and show the people that what happened in the rematch wasn't a fluke. So go ahead and get that shit taken care of, bro. Stop procrastinating, delaying. Out here swaying, playing around, lying. Get your ass back in the ring. Stop making up shit. Well, I don't want to face Deontay Wilder because my voice is all groggy and he keeps talking about me, and I got to talk to my wife with my groggy voice because he's saying all these true things, that I did. I made. But he's just defaming my character. No, we don't want to hear that shit. You're a dirty player. So stop. You and Frank Warren, stop trying to damn fool the people that you're trying to convince the judge. You're trying to convince us that you would never, not yesterday, today, or tomorrow, step in the ring with Deontay Wilder. Of course you're not. Because you know how many eyes would be looking at you for the wrong reason. Those eggshells you hear cracking as you step to the damn ringside. Motherfuckers gonna have their eyes on your ass. The cameras are gonna be panning. Motherfuckers are gonna be zoomed in to everything. It. Give us the fight. If you ain't gonna fight, get off the belt. Fuck it. If you're not gonna fight the champ, get off. Just come off that belt, vacate it, so we can move the fuck on. That's what we want to see. That's the heavyweight division. This super middleweight could be interesting. This super middleweight can be very, very interesting now that it seems like Canelo has committed to signing a couple of fights with Eddie Hearns. Every time I hear this couple of fights with Eddie Hearns, just like that 2-fight agreement with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, I kind of sit there and shake my head. It's like, I really don't care too much about the verbal. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was explaining yesterday when people sit up here and say, $10 million we're going to make. And it may be a little untruth to that, but it's just talk. This, on the other hand, when I started to say Canelo, yes, outside of Abner Yildirim, okay, it's a potential we're going to get a damn good fight at 68 because Yildirim has no chance of doing what Dustin Poirier did to Conor McGregor last night, right? He has no chance. But then I hear that he turned down a fight. He turned down an agreement, which for him to face Caleb Plant And for what I heard, it was somewhat like 75 million to face Jamal Charlo, something like that. And somebody, I'm not sure, but it was almost like you had two big names in there. And from what I heard, Canelo turned that shit down. Now, what needs to happen with Canelo now that he's committed to 168 pounds is fight the big names in the division and don't try to make it about you. Don't try to make it about putting clauses in that motherfucker and not giving people what they just do, their own and everything. Make the fight happen. Everybody's at peace. And we're not sitting up here saying, well, Caleb Plant don't want to fight Canelo because he's trying to lowball him, or he want a goddamn 1 pound rehydration. You know what I'm saying? He wants some crazy shit like that. I want a rehydration clause in this contract that he cannot gain more than 1 pound. If he does, that is damn half of his damn purse. I don't want to hear that. Alexander, what's good? WCS surprised with the outcome. Yeah, man, for sure, man. I appreciate everybody who pulled up, man. It was a damn good fight. Real talk. Appreciate everyone who stopped through. Salute to you. We really want to see that. Canelo need to make up his mind after he disperses of Abney Yildirim. A mandatory that has been off in the distance, set aside for COVID, turned back around, supposed to fight, and then pandemic hit, and now he finally gets his shot. He gets the fact he gets to face the unified super middleweight champion, WBC, WBA, Saul Canelo Alvarez. He gets his shot. Now, I think that's all he gets. He gets a shot. You can't believe, you have people out here boosting up Abney Yildirim. They're saying, he has a puncher's chance. Man, come on, get out of here with that. On to the next. We want to see a bigger fight in 168, either with Sweet Hands Caleb Plant, David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? If Jamal Charlo plan on moving up anytime soon, do that. Because you're not getting any love where you at. Leave that division behind and go get that Canelo fight if you can. Because there's nothing going on with Jamal Charlo at 160. He's a 2-division champion. He has the opportunity to go to the 168-pound division and establish himself. Start making a mark in that division. Don't hang around something that's not working for you, that's not benefit. Move on. Cultivate fresh ground somewhere else. And that's what he can do at 168 pounds. But I know Jamal Charlo, he wants to fight the best, and he wants that fight with Canelo Alvarez, if anything. So we'll see how that plays out, man. We'll see how the fuck that plays out. And of course, I can't believe how much I talk about boxing, but I really don't even speak on the 154-pound division with someone who's holding 3 belts as Jermell Charlo, as much as I talk about Teofimo Lopez at 135. But Jermell Charlo is holding the straps, y'all. He only has one more strap to go. And it's not even an opponent, whether it's the challenger or the champion right now. People are not really giving them credit of going in there upsetting Jermell Charlo like Tony Harrison did. We truly we should see Jermell Charlo become undisputed in 21. Real talk. We may indeed see Jermell Charlo become undisputed in 2021, y'all. It's highly possible. But yet it's really no talk about him being unified. That's weird. Like, I guess because it's not a formidable challenger. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a formal challenger there. Like when J-Rock stepped in there with Jared Hurd, that clash right there, it was two bulls. We expected that shit to be on and popping, but we never expected someone like Jared Hurd, who people saying he was weight bullying. We never thought J-Rock would go in there and give him the business the way he did. Like, he was woke that fight. J-Rock could see everything. But then when J Rock went in there and fought Jason Rosario, people was tuned in because it was for the unified titles. They tuned in for that. They felt that we was going to see somehow, a very solid clash, and that wasn't the case. J Rock was smashed. He was stopped early. Okay, shout out to J Rock, man, and good dude though. And then Jason Rosario stepping in there with Jermell Charlo. We never even seen this coming to the damn. We never saw this on the radar post fight, because post fight it wasn't really like people was talking about. Well, who you gonna fight next? This, that, and the other. Are you gonna fight this person, that person? Are you gonna go see Jermell Charlo? What is it gonna be? And finally, the fight popped up. Hey, he's gonna face Jermell Charlo. Goes in there, and we see one of the, I wouldn't say the funniest because it's boxing, okay? But when Jermell popped him with that jab, man, he went back and started convulsing. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Is somebody hook up an EKG under the ring? I mean, what the fuck am I watching with Jason Rosario and convulsing like this? What am I watching? Somebody stop it. So Jermell Charlo ended up picking up the belts, and now we wait. Is it going to be Brian Castano or Patrick Teixeira? We wait. All in the meanwhile, this division is a step away from becoming what the welterweight division should be. The 154-pound division is a step away from what we expect of the welterweight division, absent of all the politics. Once Jermell Charlo comes to a point to vacate the titles, the 154-pound division may be one of the lit divisions in boxing. I'm telling you, it has a lot of names that's in the queue right now in the 154-pound division. And those fights will be dynamic. I know a lot of people are talking about Zoo out there. You have freaking what's his name? The Towering Inferno. Wait, somebody text me. Okay. Yeah, you have the Towering Inferno, man. Sebastian Fundora, 6'6", 80-inch reach. You have Jamonte Clark up there still. You have a lot of cats at 154, man. Let me pull up this shit. The 154-pound division will be one of the hottest division near the end of 21 and possibly, on fire 2022. Because I believe there will be 147 pounders moving up to the super welterweight division once Jermall Charlo comes off those belts. Real talk. You have Madrimov up there. Tim Tszyu, like I said, Jerry Hurd is still at 54, even though he's been very, very quiet. You still got J Rock. Sebastian Fundora is working his way up. We're not even gonna mention Liam Smith, whatever he's got going on. You know what I'm saying? And he decides to step in the fray. But they have a depth of competition at 54. You have Charles Conwell out of Soul City Boxing, Ohio, over there in Ohio, Cincinnati, or Toledo. If I got it wrong, still give a shout out to Charles Conwell, man. Charles Bad News Conwell. You know what I'm saying? He's making a move up the ranks at 154. And then Jason Rosario, we don't know when he's going to return. But in the 147 pound, I want to see, this is who I want to see move up to 54. I want to see Sean Porter move up to 54. This is the old guard. I want to see Sean Porter move up to 54. I want to see Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford move up to 54. Sergey Lipinets just got into 47, so he's going to be here for a while. Michael Garcia, I would be questioning my own integrity and sanity if I say I want to see him in 54. Michael Garcia is going to get a title. Mark my words. I heard Michael Garcia is potentially in line, or is rumor mill out there that he may face Terrence Crawford. Okay, go ahead and do that. Whatever he sees, he's gonna get another big paycheck, and that'll be better than facing whoever they had out there for mandatory whatever. So if Mikey Garcia gonna step in there and do it, cool. Make it happen. Because I think I read something out there where Mikey Garcia said that Terrence Crawford needs to leave Top Rank, like like him, Floyd Mayweather, left there, that was able to legally get out of their contractual obligations. Mikey Garcia spent damn near 2 years out the sport and a million plus in legal fees to be independent to make these moves right now. So yeah, Mikey Garcia is trying to make the big bank. He's trying to make as much money as possible before he retires. I don't blame them. I don't blame him. And then Kavaliauskas, listen, Kavaliauskas is still talented. Even though Terrence Crawford, dog walked him like he did, Kavaliauskas will be back in the picture. Okay. So therefore, we're talking about people to move up to 54 in the next year. I really want to see this old guard right here. Errol Spence, Crawford, Porter. I want to see them at 54. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go to 54. Let these other cats, Keith Thurman, him going to 54. Danny Garcia, I doubt it will happen, but move the old guard out the way. These cats are in their 30s and shit. You got the Virgil Ortiz is on deck. You got your Dinas Ugas that still trying to establish who he is. But anyway, you got the Virgil Ortiz is on deck. You have Jerome Ennis that's coming up. Maurice Hooker's in the division now. Josecito Lopez, the way he looked his last fight, man. Come on, bro. Josecito Lopez looked tight. There's two other individual names that you might know that I want them to just move on, period. Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Don't move to 54. Just move on, period. And then one that's sleeping under the radar that a lot of people not paying attention, that's across the pond. You know what I'm saying? Very flashy fighter. You know what I'm saying? Very flashy. Very entertaining to watch. He put on a show against Sebastian Formella. And that's Conor Ben. Conor Ben, with all the ink on his body, he ready to go up here and cross the T's and dot somebody's I. So watch out for Conor Ben moving up in the welterweight. He's making his move, but more so, to be realistic, more so in the welterweight division, one of the bigger names that we paying attention, is Boots, Jerome Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? You have, your Dinas Ugas looking for the big fight to separate himself from all the others. You're looking for a lot of names out here to make that jump. You get that recognition. Your Dinas Ugas, it's hard for people outside of hardcore boxing fans to even just say, oh man, that's Ugas, man. Yeah. I mean, people, want to say he don't speak that much English and shit like that. I don't have no problem with him. Every time I seen him in person, I've seen him several times. He's a cool dude. But in order for him to get this like super recognition out here, I don't know how he's going to do it. Keith Thurman, to me, coming out ranting, and he want to go in on fighters. It's hilarious because he's got a fresh cut, right? He says he's healthy. And he's trying to, just have this ultimatum with boxers to fight him. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to have this ultimatum. And look, believe it or not, Keith Thurman may have been injured at the point where he really didn't entertain Errol Spence calling him out. He was really just, picking and choosing because he knew he couldn't get in a fight camp at 100% to go in there and have the result that he had against Manny Pacquiao. Now, what's fucked up about it, if he did have that mindset that he wasn't 100% to step in there with the Errol Spence and lose to him, he did have that mindset to be able to go in there and lose against an 8th division champion. He probably felt a little less, agitated or guilty knowing that he's about to step in there versus Manny Pacquiao and take that L. But I think when it came to Errol Spence, regardless of what was going on in his little livelihood, he might have been injured and lacked confidence to step in there and give him the shot. But now he has no belts. None. Errol Spence act like he ain't trying to get a dude shit. And when it comes to boxing, that shit happens. People have to understand what we're looking at. Okay? I do recall flash comparisons all the time. Like when it comes down to Errol Spence asking this dude over and over again for a title shot. Not a title shot because he didn't have a title, but a title shot to unify. Because Keith Thurman was the man, right? He really didn't give him any type of exposure, any attention. So coming back to now, coming off a car accident, coming off that win with Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman in between time says he's healthy 100%. So he want to come back in here and call out the fighters. So one, he trying to say he want to call out Errol Spence. Errol Spence, believe it or not, this is my opinion, the way I look at it, is being extremely petty. Extremely petty. Seriously, it's been extremely. Like I said before, it's fighters that have power, they get mad, and they don't want to fight each other. That happens all the time. But people are not identifying what Errol Spence is doing because he is the unified champion. He has the power now. So what's good for Keith Thurman to ignore Errol Spence? They saying it's good for Errol Spence to ignore Keith Thurman. They're not mad. They're not mad. Shit. They say, okay, whatever. Tom Brown in the building. Salute to you, man. They're not mad. They saying, Keith Thurman deserves what he's getting, the lack of attention from Errol Spence. Exactly. Cool. But when will we see anything else? Now it's become a foreign language. It's become an unspoken language. To speak of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, it's almost like it's been cursed. It's almost like it has voodoo attached to it now. It's almost like the Tony Ferguson Khabib the Nurmagomedov fight that was scheduled in the UFC. It was canceled 5 freaking times. You know what's worse from being canceled 5 times when you're two of the best competitors is when Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford is two of the best welterweights in boxing, and we are unable to get them any closer for a projected fight date. I mean, that's what's crazy. Like when we're going on 3 years plus, say the end of this year, we're going on 3 years talking about this fight. We're no closer to seeing it. No closer. We're absolutely no closer in seeing this fight pop off. And all we do here on media, we shake our head. We say, damn, when the fuck they gonna fight? Whenever it happened, man. I'm not sweating it no more. I mean, it was a point in time where I was energized to speak on it. But one thing I don't want my listeners to do is be swayed, have yourself dissuaded by false narratives. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that influence you in any type of way to support another fighter. If you go for Bud, you can go for Bud But that doesn't mean you have to sit up here and treat Spence. What I say out my mouth is what I think. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just saying, if you're the unified champion, it should be a way for you to fight Terrence Crawford. Not making it about money. Don't allow Terrence Crawford to just break you down just a little bit with frustration because he's on some other shit right now. I mean, Errol Spence. Don't allow Errol Spence to do that shit. He on something else right now. Coming off the accident, he's on some other shit, bro. I don't know what's going on with Errol Spence. Making it about money. People want to sit up here and debate win. Look, you can recall memory 100 things. It's the one that you get halfway right. And people say, see, I got you. I bring out the salt. Put some sprinkles in his eye. They won't give you credit for the 100 things you got right. But when it was 101, when you started to put recall up there, they say, see, I knew he don't know shit. That's not the way it works. Errol Spencer said some shit from way back when to getting the belt to all the way up to now. When he want to talk about 60-40 and all this other shit and putting Bob Arum into it, who's been on here just talking nonsense sometime, his proof is in the pudding. Bob Arum say, he's lost this amount of money on Crawford. He can buy a house in Beverly Hills and all this other shit. What does it have to do with you, though? And then, he always talking about like he's advocating for Al Heyman. Why are you speaking as a fighter? You're mentioning shit from an advisor that not many people even know who he is. But you always hear, well, Al. I'm like, damn, dude. Speak as men. Speak as if you and him and your families was out and y'all crossed each other's path. You start talking about, hey, I've been thinking, man, it's just a bunch of bullshit, man. I apologize for really just procrastinating about this shit. I was just being, I was being a bit overly petty about shit. And we should make this fight, this, that, and the other. But now it's got to the point where you have two fighters that have a community of individuals with a platform, breaking them down and trying to make them enemies. Like they're not on the same level of competition. And I say like this: if they wasn't on the same level of competing on the highest level, we wouldn't be talking about them. When people saying Terrence Crawford record don't mean shit, he arguably, look, when I hear people run their fucking mouth and say that Terrence Crawford fought the weakest unified champion in the last 50 years, I'm saying step your ass in there and see if you can be the first YTBC to go in there and challenge the 3-division champion Terrence Crawford and make it out the first round in the past 50 years. And YTBC haven't even been in existence that long. But when I hear people say some shit like that, they talk about these boxers. I have my criticism of certain boxers, but not to the point where, I'm talking like shit's real easy out here. Yeah, he's a 3-division champion, but look, he fought in Dungo, and Dungo was the worst. He was the least competitive or the worst unified champion in the last 50 years. He ain't shit. That ain't nothing Terrence Crawford did. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, come on. Y'all have to give these fighters credit for something. You have to understand, fighters, it's new license, it's new professional license being approved every day for a fighter to come into the sport. It's amateurs coming up through the ranks. If we had a sport full of natural born killers, if we had a sport consisting of pugilism of natural born killers, the championship will be changing hands every other month if we had natural born killers lined up in every division. We understand wholeheartedly as intelligent human beings that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? We're just not going to have natural born killers as deep as we would like in every division. So if Terrence Crawford was able to step in there and become the unified champion, then you have to give him credit for becoming the unified champion. People are going to turn back around because it's two black boxers in Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, and they'll say Clarissa Shields. Well, we're not gonna criticize the good sister, but we can say the same thing for her competition that they're saying for Terrence Crawford facing Julio Sandongo. We can say where were they ranked? Who are they? But the point remains, she's going to get credit for being a bona fide, legitimate Olympian, two-time gold standard, and being a three division in 10 fights. And then she's about to step in there on a women's PPV that I believe is like $29 some PPV. A huge pay gap comparable to the men. She's about to step in there and face Marie Dakari, who's 17-0, 0 knockouts. Clarissa Shields 10-0, 2 knockouts. When you see that comparable to the men, they're going to be somewhat apprehensive to even be critical of Clarissa Shields because she is one of the distinguished boxers at the top of the game right now in the sport, the women's sport of boxing. And she's a black woman at that. But when it comes down to the overall host encapsulating everything when boxing, when you get hardcore fans looking at who she's fought, it's always going to be criticism. Just like it was for Layla Ali, Christy Martin, Ann Wolfe, Mia St. John, Cecilia Bráchez, Amanda Serrano, who's a 7 division champion. All these individuals that's trying to come up and make a name for themselves. You will be able to pick up a belt on the women's side of the house, but you're going to have some people that's not hardcore boxing fans that's not going to give you credit for what you've been able to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing I'm saying. Sir Ken in the building. What's good? Anybody can win on any given night at 54. I don't know there, Tone. I don't look at the sport like that. Especially at 54. 54 pretty deep now. I'll take it 50-50. I don't know, man. That is a 50-50 damn response you gave. Anybody can win, so it's a 50-50 drop. It's a 50-50 drop on anybody can win at 154. So, I don't know, man. I would like to see. I guarantee that Jermell Charlo will unify. I have hardly any doubt that Jermell Charlo will unify, right? But I would want him to have a rematch. We need to see the rematch, man. Just give my boy a rematch and see if he's ready. It's two fighters that come into this equation, this scenario, right? I would like to see him fight Erickson Lubin again. That's if Erickson Lubin wanted. He said he ready. That's if he wanted. I'd like to see, Erickson Lubin step back in there. And I would like to see Tony Harrison step back in there for a trilogy. Why can't we get a trilogy? It's 1-1. It's a rubber match, man. Come on. It's 1-1. Am I the only one missing this? Am I the only one going to mention the elephant? A huge ass elephant walking around that motherfucker. Dual white tusk. Ears knocking motherfucker out. More just stomping. Swinging his trunk. Y'all motherfuckers don't know. Let's get that Tony Harrison fight again for a trilogy. You just can't say, okay, Tony Harrison won the first one. Jermall Charlo stopped him in the 11, and no one's pushing for a trilogy. Jamel Charlo can sit up here and say, I ain't gotta fight that nigga again. Fuck that. Why, man? That shit was entertaining, man. It's just the real fighters. You know, I look at the Sugar Ray Leonard's, man, the people who want to fight the tough fights. I look at that and I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's fight. We 1-1. Let's get it. What's up with not? Let's do like Deontay Wilder. He goes right back in there. Gave Luis Ortiz damn rematch. Gave Tyson Fury a rematch. Gave the Bermain Stavern rematch. You have to respect the ones that's willing to get back in there when people saying you ain't shit. Man, if he step back in there, he gonna get fucked up. Well, okay, give him the rematch. Especially when it came down to Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. I remember the night these hating ass group allowed the damn fight thread to be so damn racist and damn biased and shit. They were saying that Deontay Wilder was going in there against an old ass Luis Ortiz, and Ortiz was gonna knock his ass out, but they wasn't using that terminology, calling motherfuckers knock his bitch ass, knock this nigga, all this now, this basketball player and all that shit, right? So when Deontay dropped him and he was able to recover in the 7th round, rolled him. I'm in the live thread, and I got a couple of bets, right? I never hung around a live thread long enough doing a fight. All right. This is when I wasn't really on here covering fights, but people was on there pressing over and over. The live thread was just rotate in recession. When Ortiz hurt Deontay, they was like, yeah, there we go. Give me my money. Here we go. He's about to be defeated. We told you. World Comeback. Deontay ain't shit. Luis Ortiz about to damn knock his ass. Go Ortiz. Go. Yeah. Oh shit. Ding ding. Oh man. Oh shit. What the fuck? He didn't stop him. Oh my God. What does that mean? What does that mean? You remember on A Few Good Men when that Marine, when they were sentenced? What does that mean? Well, somebody tell me, what does that bell means? It means we're about to go in the round 8. It means we're about to go in the round 8. Luis had his opportunity, dog. Comes out, they jumping up and down. Yeah, punch him, Luis. And then Deontay started getting his damn range and started popping that jab out there. He started selling in and shit. And we all know the ending. Come on, man. Let's get some of these fights. We can't even get a first fight which could have potentially made a lot of people some money. Because listen, people can't sit up here and say it's because of a pandemic. I salute Deontay Wilder for rematches. But we looking at Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, and we can't even get one fight out of these cats. And the primary person that's making all the fucking excuses is Errol Spence. I don't know why he came to my fight. He say, when are you so butthurt that Terrence Crawford say he don't need you for his legacy? It's true he don't need you, Spence. Don't let me get going on that shit because that's petty. That's like diva type shit. That's like motherfucking social media chat shit. You know what I'm saying? People be talking shit on damn live chats. That's the gossip you hear. Motherfucker roll up. Well, what you talking about? Terrence Crawford said he didn't need him for his legacy, so why should he fight him? I say, so y'all gonna sit up here and allow Errol Spence to be mad at Bud Crawford for saying he don't need him for his legacy, but still wants to fight him, right? Y'all want to hold everybody accountable. off their words. Errol Spence say he's mad because Terrence Crawford mentioned that he doesn't need him for his legacy. So he's going to say, okay, 70-30, whatever we want to give him. So instead of making a fight, y'all sit up here and be petty and nitpick off what Bud Crawford said and what Errol Spence has been saying. But yet, and y'all are totally ignoring the lightweight division where Mauricio Sulaiman has absolutely destroyed big fights. Okay, I got you. Sir Ken, what's good? World Combat Sports. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button. Appreciate you, Sir Ken, for pulling up. Appreciate you. Man, that's what it is, man. Like I said, I have an interview coming up at 1 p.m. And, like I said, I support fighters that's coming up much as I can. And the ones that's, professional on the higher tier, mid-tier, whatever. I just support boxing and combat sports in general. So check out the interview, man. It doesn't have to be, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence for y'all to tune in. Tune in, check it out, see what's popping, with this fighter's life, career. And maybe, you like him, start supporting him, follow him on IG and everything. And we'll see how that goes, We try to keep the interviews coming. And yeah, I'm trying to make the phone calls and get the bigger names on here consistently. But when it's just me, then that's who it is. But yeah, meet me back here at 1300, man. That's 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we can jumpstart this interview, with this boxer, special guest. Until then, y'all know what it is, man. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.
What up? It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you're tuned in to World Combat Sports.